Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Elimee Designs vlog. So there is an awful lot to show you today. I don't exactly know how I've been doing all of these things recently, but I am very excited to share them with you. In particular, I've decided not only to have a quick look at the pattern that I've just released today, although this video probably won't get uploaded today, and 2 other patterns from Elimee Designs that are going to be released before the next vlog comes out. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of a sneak peek. So thank you to everybody who's joining us again, and hello to anybody who is new. If you want to find me on social media, I will pop the links below, but essentially you can find me in a lot of different places under Elimee Designs. So starting with finished objects. So first things first, I did show this as a whip in the last episode, and I have finally finished it because I managed to get to the yarn shop to grab some more. I hate when a project stalls that you're really, in the swing of just because you've run out of yarn. So here is my rainbow scarf. So I say it's not for me, it's for one of the little children that I'm going to be crocheting for Christmas. And it's made using the Zigzag Blanket pattern, but obviously made using it much narrower and without adding on the half double slip stitch border, and adding some cute, yes, I even went rainbow on the tassels, rainbow coloured tassels at the ends. So if I can remember all of these from last time, so you've got lipstick, spice, sunshine, was it grass? Yes, grass green, aster, boysenberry, and proper purple. So these are all DK weight yarns from Stylecraft, the special DK range. And as I'm sure you'll have noticed, I do tend to use this particular rainbow selection in quite a few of my patterns. You can even see it, which way can you see it better? In the border of the blanket that I've got behind me just here. When I like something, I like it. So the second thing that I wanted to show you are the hand warmers that, again, I think were a whip in episode 2. And these are my Heath hand warmers. Now I'm going to put them on so that you can get a good look at how they fit. So I made the standard adult size, and this is a pattern from Little Drops of Wonderful, which is another vlog / podcast on YouTube. And this is one of their own patterns. I believe they have an extended range of sizes available in their PDF, available on Ravelry, but this is the free size that's available on their website. And I think they fit me perfectly. What do you think? Now, these weren't actually intended for me, but I have plenty of yarn to make some more, and I know I'm in the swing of making lots of Christmas gifts, so I might just keep these ones for myself and make some more in a different colour for somebody else. I still need to use up the yarns that I got from my unboxing, so there's definitely some suitable yarn in there. Now this is the Chainette yarn from Wilkos, of all places, and if I remember rightly, I got a bit confused because it's called Purple Mix in the colourway, but I don't know about you, but I very much think this is pink. Yeah, it was definitely called Purple Mix. So I don't quite know how they think it's purple, but we're just going to roll with it. And yeah, so these fit really, really well. The instructions were really, really easy to follow. I'm definitely going to be making some more as Christmas presents because they were nice and quick to whip up, plus they fit very well. But yeah, let me know what colour you would make them in. So the next thing, time for a bit of a giggle on your behalf, not on your half, on your part, not mine. Laughing at me, basically. So a few weeks ago, my friend Rachel kindly agreed to help get me into knitting. So I've wanted to learn to knit for a good long while, and I was kind of putting it off because I had so many other things going on, and I thought, you know what, I'll do it when I'm on maternity leave. I go on maternity leave at the end of the year. Once baby is, over that tiny newborn stage, I'll have plenty of time to learn to knit, right? But then I decided, you know what, I'd quite like to knit something for the new baby. So she kindly showed me the basics, how to cast on, how to knit, how to purl, let me have a play with some of her needles before I ordered my own. And this was the first thing that I tried to make. Now, yeah, it's definitely far from perfect, as you're about to see. So if you're gonna laugh, you know, laugh with an emoji or with a comment, not out loud. That's obviously much better. Now this was just a practice piece in the sense that I knew this would be far too big for my baby, because they didn't have newborn sizing in the range that was offered in the first pattern. But my friend Rachel thought that it would be easiest for me to learn how to knit in the flat and then just seam it up the edge before learning to knit in the round. So here is my hat. Now, apparently this is supposed to fit the average size girl, but you know, I'm not sure if it would fit either of my older kids. So as you can see, my ribbing, I don't know if I got distracted, but I did not read the instructions properly. I ended up, although I started okay, doing a 1-row repeat instead of a 2-row repeat. And so it does not look like ribbing should at all. My seam, not horrendous, but not great. But I think that my knitting and purling, although it's not 100% even in terms of the stitches, actually isn't too bad, if I can say that about my own work. So this was made using some yarn that I had in my stash. So definitely not one of my favourite yarns, but yarn that I was gifted, that I've never got around to using. And given that I'm trying to shrink my stash so that the craft room can turn back into a nursery, I figured, you know, give it a go, use it up. So it's made by Woolcraft and it is shade 157. Yeah, you know how I feel about yarn colours that are numbers rather than cute names, so we'll leave it there. Right, so the next thing I wanted to show you is the pattern that has just released today. Today being the 9th of September, however, I can guarantee you, what with everything that's going on with the kids, this video will not get edited tonight, it will not get released tonight. So apologies for however many days later I managed to upload this to YouTube. So I will add a photo to better show this because it's far too big for you to, oh gosh, you're pulling the cushion as well, for you to easily see on the screen, but you should be able to get the gist. So this is a pattern that is made from solid granny squares that have been sewn together. I wanted to make something that was very beginner friendly. And as you can see, completely optional, but I added a rainbow border to mine. You can obviously add whatever border you like. And my theme, I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see in one go, were ladybugs or ladybirds, depending on where you are in the world. So you can see it's got, obviously the red wings, black spots. Yeah, you definitely won't be able to see all of this in one go without before I had on the photos. I went for quite a large size, so I did 4 rounds per square. Obviously, if you want it smaller, you just make your squares smaller or use thinner yarn or smaller hooks. I think a lot of my testers did only 3 rounds per square just to make it a little bit smaller. But I wanted something that was, I say going to cover me up. It was more likely going to go to one of my kids and then not anywhere near adult size, but I wanted it to last a while, whoever I gave it to. So hopefully they like that. So that is the Mariquita Ladybird blanket. It is available on Ravelry and Etsy, and I hope that you like it. And more importantly, I hope that you like making it. So now for some previews, some sneak peeks. So these are items that I finished making a decent while ago, but they're going to be upcoming patterns. One is coming out next week, and I will show you that first. I know maybe you shouldn't release patterns so close together, but I'm trying, as you know, to be very organised, to have everything sorted, done and dusted well before baby arrives. So all of the patterns that I had planned for release this year are coming out sort of in the next month and a half, so that I can have a little bit of a break, de-stress, relax, and then have a newborn baby and be sleep deprived. So I made some plain versions first of this one because I needed to figure out the sizing. Oh, I forgot to say which yarn I made my Mariquita out of. It'll be on the description below, don't worry. So these are my Twisted Trio ear warmers, and you'll see why they're a trio in a moment, but these are the plain versions that are made for sizing. So here is one that I made using variegated yarn, and as you can see there's a knot that you can either have at the front when you're wearing it, or some people like to wear them at the back, especially if they've got a nice design on the back. And this one was made using Cedar Crofter DK. Apparently it's the Fair Isle Effect DK in shade, again, boring number, 0082. One day, every yarn company will come up with amazing names for all of their yarn, I promise. Or I hope, I should say. This is a second one. Oh, I haven't got my knot held very central there. That I made, and I believe this is the one that fits me, she says, because I made a matching Caitlin Zigzag Blanket. No, Caitlin Zigzag Scarf, so that I could wear a matching set this year. And whilst my hair does get a bit flicky at the bottom, I really, really like this yarn. I will have to write below what yarn it is because I could not find a label this morning when I was preparing for this video. But it was what was left over from when I made my daughter a mermaid blanket. The mermaid blanket that I started whilst pregnant with my second. So I made the bit that goes over your stomach nice and big so that I'd have plenty of room for my bump. But then, although I did the whole of the body, I didn't sew on the tail until probably about a year later. Yes, that's how bad I am when I don't want to do sewing. And this last one, which I made in the right size for my friend, so this is far too big for me, is made out of this gorgeous purple yarn. Now, I'm very, very tempted to make one of these for myself. As I'm sure some of you will know by now, my favourite colour is purple, and I just think this is really, really gorgeous purple. And again, this is by Cedar, so it's their Dapple DK, and oh yes, finally a better name, it's made in shade Midnight Blues. So now where the trio part comes in. So the reason it's the Twisted Trio, so obviously the Twisted is for me the knot bit, and the trio is because the pattern contains 3 different designs. Now the different designs are motifs that go on the flat part of the ear warmer, which I tend to wear at the back. Some people like to wear it at the front. And the motifs are zigzag pattern, a rainbow, or hearts. Now I have made this in a range of sizes going from newborn to large adult. Not every motif is available in every size just because some of the motifs are a little bit bigger than others in terms of your stitch count. So there's a kind of more child and more adult friendly sizing for each one. Now I don't have every single one to show you because I have already gifted a few of my samples, but let's have a look. So the zigzag pattern, so this is a little kiddie version. So I made this one using violet and cloud blue Stylecraft Special DK. And obviously you've got your little knot at the front. So this one should fit, she says, on my youngest for Christmas. And now, oh gosh, got the bits of something that attached itself to this one. An adult size version, which is made in proper purple and white Stylecraft Special DK. And I think this one will fit me. Yep, I made the medium adult for myself. And I do love purple. I'm going to have lots of choices to wear this winter. The rainbow, I've only got the adult version to show you because I did gift the child size one to one of my eldest daughter's friends. They had a birthday party, I think in like March when it was still pretty cold. And I do like to try and give something handmade along with a little present. So I gave them one of the ear warmers. I will add a photo though of the children's one because I do have a picture of my girls modelling it for me before I gifted it. And this is the grown-up version. So the same colour rainbow from the rainbow scarf that I showed you earlier, so the same shades of Stylecraft. And then the background for this one is Cornish blue. On the children's one, I believe it's cloud blue. And then for the hearts, now these are my daughter's favourites, so they are very much looking forward to getting these back. So this is the kiddie-sized hearts. So this is Sunshine Yellow, and this is Boysenberry from Stylecraft Special DK. You can see all of these rainbow coloured yarns come in super handy everywhere. The adult size I'm going to show you, I haven't sewn the knot yet, purely because I'm hoping to do a tutorial video explaining how to do it. I did already have one go at the tutorial video, but having not made a tutorial video before, I decided once I'd seen the recording that A, the lighting was awful, so there were lots of shadows all over it, and secondly, I wasn't doing too well at keeping what I was doing in the middle of the frame. So my testers have seen the not so good video, just so that they could figure out how to assemble things when they finished, but I do need to re-record that. So this is the adult sized hearts, and this is Copper and Cream from Stylecraft Special DK, which, as you will see, were leftover yarns from another object that I'm going to be showing you today. The earwarmers are very scrappy friendly, you don't need an awful lot of yarn. And I also made my daughter, gosh, one of my first ever crochet projects, a pumpkin hat out of this spice colour, because I really like it. It did not fit well, it did not look great, but she was young enough that she wore it anyway. I don't know if I have a photo of that one. I will share it with you if I have. Don't judge me, I was very early in my crochet career. Okay, so the second pattern that should be coming out before I record next, I believe is coming out the 1st of October, is my British Leaves Autumnal Scarf. So I haven't released a official scarf pattern yet. I know I've done lots of Caitlin hack scarves, but those were hacks, they weren't the official pattern. And so I decided I wanted something autumnal, you know, it's the right time of year, I had the right colours in my stash, so I hope that you like this one. So again, lots of tassels. I do love a good tassel. I seem to go for tassels rather than pockets or pom-poms at the moment. Now please don't ask me to remember the names of all the leaves, it's in the pattern. I'm terrible at remembering this kind of thing. But yeah, so there are 5 different leaf motifs that you can choose from, and I've had one tester who made it into a pocket scarf where the pockets had the leaves on. Another tester wants to make it into a bag but hasn't had time to do that after making their scarf. And if you keep your eye out for the pattern tester photos, they've done some really cool variations in colour, but you'll see when you see the photos. So this is the first leaf, whoop, at the top. Then you've got, I know this one's an oak, I can remember that one. I want to say that one's a sycamore, but I'm completely probably wrong. Then you've got this one. Again, I want to say maybe it's an ash leaf. Oh, I'm terrible at remembering things like this. And then I want to say this one is a beech leaf. Yeah, you're totally going to have to, yeah. And then there's another one here where I repeated it just to get the length. Oh, there are only 4. Yeah, apparently there are only 4 leaf motifs. Excuse me for having got that wrong. But I made it a really, really nice long size. I'll put a photo of me wearing it so you can see how long it is on me, just because I can't get that far back on the camera. But yeah, it's really warm because there's no holes on it. It's all single crochet. And again, I might wear the hearts one to match with it. I know that they're not matchy, but they're the same colours. So yeah. Can you tell I'm a winter person rather than a summer person? I like being all wrapped up and snuggly and cozy. Okay, so moving on to my whips. Now, yeah, it's a bit of a whip mountain this month, so I'm not going to spend too much time on each one. But yeah, hopefully you'll get a few updates from things that I was making before that I've made some progress on, and a few new whips. So just bear with me while I stretch to reach them. So the first one you'll know I was super excited about because this yarn is just to die for. It's the Rum Paradise yarn, sock yarn from Yorkshire Spinners. And here is that logo if you want to have a look. As I said, it's the Rum Paradise colour. I'm totally going to be using this again. And yeah, so I believe that I explained to you last time how I'd only made the very top bit and the cuff, because I wanted to make sure that it fit over her foot before I continued. Again, I haven't finished the sock because I want her to try it on again and make sure that it still fits before I go any further with it. But I now have the whole of the leg section in these gorgeous stripes, a heel, and the start of the foot. So I just want to make sure that she can get it around that heel part of her foot before I continue. And I also want to measure what's left of her foot to make sure that it fits really nicely. Whilst I am looking forward to knitting socks in the future as well, I feel like crochet socks, they just have a little bit less give. So you want them to fit really, really snugly. And as you saw from the pair that I made for myself, I think I showed them as a finished object in episode 2. Yeah, they're just really amazing and snug once they're fit and finished. And mine were purple, of course. So the next thing I wanted to show you, I'm making a lot of Caitlin hacked scarves for Christmas because I think that they make fabulous stocking fillers for the kids. So this is another one for the little kids in my life. And my kids love pinks. This might go to one of my girls, but this is one in boysenberry. So again, those rainbow colours coming out to say hello. It's technically still a whip because I haven't sewn in my ends. I haven't added any tassels or pom-poms yet. I think this one might be tassels. I think to maybe give it with the, let me grab it, the ear warmer here, I might make the tassels in that sunshine yellow, just as a contrast and pop of colour, but equally so that I can gift them together. There will be many more of these in the future, I can promise you that. And in terms of shrinking my stash, I only had this much left. Now, it was not a full ball when I started, but I think compared to the sunshine yellow one I made last year, I only did one less repeat because I didn't want to completely run out and play yarn chicken. So I'm really, really happy with that. Again, I think it's in a gorgeous colour. The next thing is another Caitlin hack scarf. Sorry if I'm boring you with these. And this one is made out of the Hayfield Spirit Chunky that I showed you in episode 1. And this is in shade 400. Yes, another boring name. And this was some of the yarn that I was gifted when I left my previous job. So as I explained to you when I first showed you the balls of yarn, I had no idea what to make with it. I was thinking maybe a hat or a scarf, but I wasn't too sure what pattern to go for. I wasn't quite sure how long the colour changes were, what would look good in it. And when I first started this, I really wasn't sold on it, but I took it to my crochet group and my friend Lisa absolutely said it was amazing. So I took her word for it that it looked good rather than losing the pattern, and continued. So here is the scarf, and as you can see, it goes through this beautiful colour change. The colour change does go a little bit backwards when you get to your second ball of yarn, because this took 2 balls to get me where I am. So I think the colour change was somewhere around here, I think. And it's still attached because I haven't fastened off or woven in my ends yet. I really can't find my words today. But I'm actually thinking, because I've got a reasonable amount left, of making pom-poms for this one. I haven't done pom-poms on a scarf since last Christmas when I made my first ever Tunisian crochet scarf for somebody. So let me know what you think, whether I should go for tassels or a pom-pom. But hopefully, again, she says, that'll be finished before the next episode and I can show you what I did in the end. Okay, please excuse the number of Caitlin Zigzag Blanket hacked-ish things today. But this one is actually a Caitlin Zigzag Blanket that is in progress for Baby Bump. Oh gosh, after my first daughter was born, my husband wanted to get me a birthday present the next year and knew that I was in love with the Sophie's Universe pattern. He was like, the pattern's free, so I'll buy you all of the yarn. And I was like, do you know how much yarn that is? And he was like, yeah, just go for it. And he wanted it to be huge so that we could both snuggle under it. So we bought all of the yarn in chunky. However, I finished the first kind of big section. So I've got a nice circle and I think I was about to start squaring it off. I really fell out of love with the colour combination. It sat in my whip pile for, yeah, about 2 years. I then showed it to my online craft group that I go to, and they thought it looked really good, so they encouraged me to continue. It still languished in my whip pile, and what with trying to shrink my stash and the fact that however many years later now, I still didn't feel the urge to pick it up again. I still wasn't in love with it. I decided to cut my losses, snip that working yarn, to use the yarn for other projects, and then at some point in the future I will unravel what I've done and make it into a scrappy project. But yeah, I don't have the motivation to do that right now. So this blanket is made using some of that yarn. Now, I haven't finished, again, because I have run out of the colours. I need to buy a few more balls. But what do you think of this? It is a stripy Caitlin Zigzag Blanket. And this is the Stylecraft chunky yarn in plum and teal. Now, I think it's gorgeous. When I saw the two colours together, was absolutely thrilled. I thought they went really, really well. As you know, I love all these pinky purples. And I mean, green, nothing wrong with green. It's more of a bluey green anyway, which makes it a bit nicer. And for those of you who don't know, Baby Bump is actually a girl, so I think it'll look cute. And I didn't want to go for the traditional kind of neutral everything for a new baby. I wanted a bit of bright, bold colour, so I think this will look great. I'm umming and ahhing on the border. So the pattern comes with a half double slip stitch border, but I wasn't sure whether you'd sort of do it all in one colour, whether you'd change the colour whenever you got to each stripe to match or to contrast, or whether I should do something completely different, so not follow the pattern. Maybe do like a moss stitch or a camel stitch, or I don't know. If you have any ideas what might look good, please comment and let me know. Making decisions isn't always my forte. And the next web, oh gosh, there's so many today, that I wanted to show you was the second knitting project that I attempted for the baby this time. Now, I went out of my way to pick a pattern that would include baby sizing, because I wanted it to be for the baby, because I thought the first one didn't turn out too badly in a newborn baby. They're not going to mind if it doesn't look 100% as it should. And I figured, you know what, it's going to be somewhere around Christmas baby. Why not embrace the cheese factor and go for something really out there? And so I'm making an elf hat. Isn't that so cute? Oh, excuse the sun coming in and messing with the colours. So this is grass green, white and lipstick. And as you will see this time, oh, the sun's caught on it, my ribbing came out actually like ribbing. So, you know, already a big thumbs up for number 2. However, I mean, I'm really, really close to the end. I've only got about 4 stitches on the cable at the moment. Oh gosh, you can't see it because of all the ends in the way. And I figured, you know, I'd hold the ends together, see how big it was going to be when I sew it up. Yeah, that's not going to fit a baby, even with the fact that ribbing stretches. Unless I have a premature baby, fingers crossed, touch wood that I don't, it's not going to fit. Now, this will teach me for not doing a gauge. So I usually would do a gauge for wearables, so things like cardigans and jumpers. I haven't ever tended to for hats when I've been crocheting, just because I've not run into too many problems with them not fitting. But this really isn't going to fit. So I'm going to finish it. I'm going to sew it up once I've done that very last few rows. And instead of adding a pom-pom as the pattern suggests, I'm going to add a little bell and make it into a Christmas decoration to hang on my tree. So it will look good when I remake it in the right size. So I'm going to have to do some gauge swatches to try and figure out which size of needle I need to go up to. Hopefully I've got the right size needles in the kit that I bought. If not, just like the needles that I used to do the ribbing on that one, my kind friend Rachel might have the right ones in her stash that she can lend me. So I have completely forgotten who made that pattern, so excuse me 1 second while I double check. So that one is, let's scroll down, the Little Elf Baby Hat by Mariana's Lazy Daisy Days. It comes in 2 sizes, so it comes in premature and newborn sizing only. I'm not sure if she has further sizing on Ravelry or anything like that. This is just on her website, free pattern I found via Ravelry. So wish me luck doing some gauge swatches, and hopefully second time's the charm, she says, and getting it to fit. Last whip, I promise. So do you remember that hat I was making for Baby Bump? So it was by Melody's Making, and I was having problems with the website, so I don't know if it had crashed or something, but the link had stopped working and I was completely going, oh my god, how am I going to finish this hat? So a couple of weeks later I went back to have a look and the link was working again, so the free pattern was on the website again. I got a few more rows in and I really fell out of love with it. I did not like how it was looking, so I decided to frog my yarn. Yes, I know that swear word in crafting. I know lots of people hate frogging because it then means that you've lost all of that time and effort. But if you're not going to use it, if you're not in love with it, I guess you could finish it and gift it. But I decided to frog it and make something else for the baby because the yarn is so cute. So I've decided to make it into a baby cardigan. So I was kindly given a pattern by one of the ladies at my crochet group. And I'm making it in this, oh gosh, really sunshiny, Baby Shimmer DK, which is, I want to say, yeah, it's JC Brett in shade BS9. Yes, those fabulous shade names. But I don't know if you can see kind of the shimmer that it's got. Gosh, too much sunshine. But I've made a baby cardigan crocheted out of this before, and absolutely loved it. So I decided, why not knit one, seeing as I'm learning to knit. So I have got this far, which I don't think is too bad. So again, excuse the sunshine, try and get a bit where you can actually see it. So the ribbing actually looks like ribbing, so we've got over the ribbing learning curve. And this, I'm probably holding it upside down, is going to be the back part of the cardigan. So I've just got to the bit where I need to start decreasing for the raglan sleeves and doing a little bit of shaping. But seeing as I've never done that before, I think I'm going to have to watch a few YouTube videos to figure out how to do that before I go any further. And again, this was from my stash. So I've got this much left of the first ball. It was not a full ball because I made the previous baby cardigan. And I am making this. So oh gosh, sunshine. I'm doing the plain version at the top. So they do have some with more detailing. So this one's got a bit of lace work on it, and this one has got some cabling. But given that I'm literally a complete beginner, I've only been knitting about 3 weeks, I'm going for the nice plain version at the top. So it's by Mercia, which I couldn't find a year for when this was published, but this is leaflet, if you see the number here, MW021. And according to the little bit on the back, it's a company that is based in Coventry in the United Kingdom. Looks like Mercia is a yarn company. I don't think I've ever used any Mercia wool. We'll have to try and get some and see if it's any good. So I'm making the 3rd size. So frustratingly, I don't want to put all of the paid pattern on the video, but they don't give you sort of age brackets for the sizing. It literally just says chest is this many centimeters, actual measurement is this many centimeters, length is this many centimeters, sleeves are this many centimeters. So I had to Google how big is a newborn baby. So I'm making the 3rd size, which is for the chest going to be approximately 41 centimeters or 16 inches. The actual measurements apparently will be obviously a little bit bigger because it's a little bit of stretch to it, but it's, when I had a look online, kind of the 0 to 3 month kind of size. So I figured even if I have the same boo-boo, although I did do a gauge swatch that I had with the hat and it comes out a bit small, at least there's still a chance of it fitting at some point in their life, rather than it being premature sized and never going to fit them. So that was my last whip. I don't have a lot of incoming and things that I wanted to show this time around. As I mentioned, I'm going to be making some more Caitlin Hack scarves as stocking fillers for all of the little kids that I'm crocheting for this Christmas. I'm going to make at least one more pair of the Heath hand warmers from Little Drops of Wonderful to gift, because I totally want to keep those ones now. Still a bit undecided on some of the patterns for my mystery yarn bundle that I got. I have picked up a few possibilities, but we shall see how that goes. And the last thing I wanted to mention actually is that I want to say fourth, given that today was the first, the fourth and final pattern that's coming out before, she says, before baby is born, is my Christmas themed blanket. Now, I don't want to give away all of the details of exactly what it looks like, so I'm not going to hold it up or show you a photo today. And I'm aiming to release it on the 1st of November, so that's a week or so after, no, not quite a week, after the tester's deadline. But I'm going to do it as my first ever crochet along, so I'm sure that gives you some clues as to perhaps part of the construction or what it might look like. I'm hoping to release 2 or 3 sections a week over sort of the 5 or 6 weeks after that, so that it can be finished with plenty of time for Christmas in case you want to gift it. I made mine out of kind of blue and white as the main colours, and then I used that sparkly, the JC Brett Twinkle yarn for my border, which, yeah, I absolutely loved. But you'll see more of it probably in the next vlog episode, I think, because it'll be released before the 5th one. So I think I'll give you a bit of a sneak peek next time. So I hope that you like it. It's definitely, I think, my favourite pattern that I've come up with this year. So that is everything that I want to go through. If you have any questions, anything that I forgot to mention, or you think I got a bit wrong, please do comment down below. I promise to get back to you as soon as I can. I'll put the links to all of the patterns and the yarns that I've used, assuming that I can find them online, again down below. And yeah, until next time, I really hope that you have some fun and happiness with your crochet. Bye bye.